Amazing. That is amazing. 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 Isn't that amazing? That's amazing.
When times get tough, you need to get proud. No need to look backward. Put your feet on the ground. Stand up. Stand up.
Welcome to the Fallen State. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Don't forget to help us fight censorship by hitting the thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. You can ring my bell. I have with me a very interesting guest today, Reverend Corinne Wilson. She is an occult priestess and a professional psychic. Am I right about that?
That's right.
Amazing. Welcome to the show.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I am so glad you're here because I've always wanted to talk to people who was into reading cards. You read cards and all that kind of stuff.
And
right?
auras, jewelry even.
What are auras?
So your aura is the energy band. I can see it in color. It's like a heat signature across your body.
And you can read that?
Yeah, they're different color codes, and therefore we can see what's coming in and what's leaving.
Since I am as black as the Ace of Spades, what color is my aura?
You have a very high purple color right here, so that's the right side. That's what you're projecting out to the world, is that you know things. You're a knower.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? And I can't feel it or tell that it's there.
You're awfully intellectual, and that gets in your way a lot.
Can other people see it?
People like me can, people who have cultivated their gifts, sure.
How did you become an occult priestess?
It's
and
a
what is that
self-title.
exactly?
Okay, great. It is a self-title. To say it's a new meme. Occult means hidden, and most people know that. It's also a medical term, occult, hidden from the doctor. But the occult actually means, the antiquity version of the word, means hidden from the uninitiated. So I believe that God calls people and initiates them through certain trials and errors in their hero's journey. I have been through many years of initiations to bring me into this secret or beyond meta. Meta actually means beyond the mundane waking world.
Did someone teach you to do this, or you just decided to do it?
So I had sleep paralysis, which is a type of spiritual warfare, where I was attacked at night through dreams by a dark shadow entity. And I believe that that was the first initiation for me, and what told me basically what my life was going to be like.
And was that dark shadow evil?
Yes, very
Evil.
much.
And so evil told you that you should become a priestess?
No, evil scared me straight to God.
Oh, I see.
So occult merely means hidden from the uninitiated. So if you're not initiated by heaven, then you won't understand what I'm understanding through experience.
So are you a Christian?
I'm a pagan, if you want to put it that way, but I'm also a Buddhist of the ancient lineage of Karma Kagyu. And so I am many different faiths.
What is a pagan?
So paganism is, I'm Wiccan in particular, and we worship basically a god and a goddess, a masculine and feminine form, Shakti, Shiva, if you like, of the god and goddess. And we learn through nature, through the cycles of the seasons, and through the cycles of ourselves. And it's very introspective.
So you were raised what religion were you raised
A
in?
Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah.
That's enough to drive you into a cult, priestess.
Well,
Priestess.
it was very difficult to be in that cult.
Yeah.
And then I found out what the occult was and know the difference.
What's the difference between an occult and a cult?
So occult, classic meaning, is hidden from muggles or hidden from the uninitiated.
Okay.
And then cult is when there is a leader. There are a list of things you have to go through to tick boxes of what a cult is. But there's a leader, and then there's sycophantic people who are escaping their true lives to be in worship or in service to the head person that's the head of the cult.
What type of things did you go through when you were a part of that religion growing up?
There was a lot of
Jehovah's
shame.
Witness.
My mother at one point was disassociated from that church, therefore no one in the family spoke with her. And I was like, love, what about love?
Yeah.
And it was a very difficult childhood growing up with that spirituality, which was very close-minded, and you're only going to do A, B, and C, and that's all your potential is. So it crushed creativity and expression, basically.
So when your mother was no longer part of that religion for whatever reason, they stopped talking to,
That's right.
to your mother. Did they stop talking to you too? That meant you were out as well?
No, but I was treated differently, and my mother was not invited to the family functions, and so it caused a great rift emotionally.
How did that affect you?
Personally, it made me question everything. Are these people really, do they love my mother? Is there a bond here, or what's going on? You know, so
And
it's a lot of questions.
did your father continue to go? Were you raised by your father as well?
No, my father was an alcoholic, so he basically lived on the couch. And so I haven't met him much in my lifetime.
Oh, when you say he lived on the couch, he was there, but he was an alcoholic?
Not in our house,
Oh.
in his own home.
So your father and mother wasn't married?
Not anymore.
Oh, they were married and they divorced?
That's correct.
So are you close to your father now?
No, he's passed. My mother's also passed.
Were you close to him before he expired?
No, we only met a few times in this lifetime. I've only met my father a few times.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And so when you say in this lifetime, have you met him in another life?
Oh, I'm sure that we do that all the time. Yeah.
So you believe that you meet him in another life?
Well, now I know where he is.
Where is he?
So he's in a purgatory vacation home upstairs in a Hawaiian shirt. So if they come to you in a Hawaiian shirt, they're not going straight to heaven.
And so you see him sometimes?
Yeah. Well, not anymore, but I did when he passed.
Really?
Yeah.
So after he died, you saw him.
He came to me in a dream and he said, I want to hold you one more time. And I barely knew this man, but it was very primordial. You must understand. It was a deep part of my soul that he needed some kind of comfort from his daughter, and I gave it to him.
So is he in hell or heaven right now?
I would call it a purgatory realm.
Purgatory
between.
meaning down below?
So we could call it the bardo, an in-between realm between here and heaven.
But in my world, it would be called hell?
Maybe.
I mean, because I don't understand that
I don't see
language.
him being tortured, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I got you.
You're right.
Oh, okay. And so how long you been doing the psychic work?
So almost 30 years. So I started professionally when I was 16 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
And so a psychic and an occult priest, that's the same thing with different names?
I am self-named, self-labeled the Occult Priestess
Oh,
because I
see.
felt like it fit best to be a universal kind of priestess. That it's of all, occult means mystery, so I'm a priestess of the mysteries.
Do you believe there is a God and a devil?
I believe there is a force that we call evil. Now, it does personificate itself throughout history, through people, but it is a force. Therefore, it can take over people. And so it's not something that's just a guy, you understand? It's a force.
Oh, okay. So it's an evil force. And how do people become evil? How does
question.
This force get? Yeah. How does it get into people?
That's amazing. So I usually answer this question the opposite way. However, to become evil, one must feed their ego. They must go with all of their negative instincts. They must lie, they must cheat, they must steal. They must continue to be an immoral wreck. And then eventually, I believe, they become a beast or a demon.
What would make a person decide to become that way? Because they're not born that way. Somewhere walking down the road, they decide to become that way. What made them decide to become that way?
9 times out of 10, it's trauma.
What type of trauma?
So abusive trauma in which I was abused. I had trauma. That sent me straight to the light. So you could say they went straight to darkness. And I don't know where that's a linchpin. That's something we've been wanting to know for generations, what causes someone to go bad. But I also 100% believe in past lives, and that a lot of those negative tracks or positive tracks were set up before this current incarnation.
I've noticed that not all, but most women especially those who have not grown close to their fathers, are evil. Evils tend to work through them to destroy the world.
So you think that they lack self-love and the ability to love themselves because they were never taught how?
Well, I just see that they carry an evil spirit has made a home in them.
Like the Jezebel.
And they use that to destroy. Even the women that seem nice and mothery and all that, they're still evil rather than good. Have you noticed that?
I actually don't really associate with people like that. My clients are mostly in the light and of the light, so I really don't have to deal with that too much personally. But
Yeah.
in the collective,
But have you seen it though growing up and watching the world around you?
I never saw evil as masculine or feminine.
It seemed to be a feminine spirit, for
Well,
sure.
that would be something that your intellect is working on right now.
What do you mean?
That you're thinking about it.
No, I should see that as an evil spirit. I mean, it's a feminine evil spirit. Because masculine is not evil, but I noticed that feminine spirit is evil.
Well, I could see the original, so we go back to the Hindus, Shakti, Shiva, the original principles of masculine and feminine, and they are pure and undiluted. When they come down to earth, eventually with people, they become diluted, and this earth can corrupt the soul if you're choosing the wrong lesson, choosing the wrong answers to the lessons.
So you predict the future for other people, right?
I counsel people. That does include prediction.
And give me an example. What do people come to you with, and what do you tell them mostly?
A lot of my clients are growing up. They are emotionally maturing, and they're finding their way in this world. And that's what I'm helping them do. I'm helping them sometimes even just with prayer. How powerful prayer can be.
Prayer?
That we do prayers together, and then we'll do prayers like separately, and we'll both get the same, oh my goodness, I saw a symbol or a sign, and so we can compare notes.
And do you work with mostly men or women?
Usually women, actually.
Yeah.
I do love working with men.
Why is it mostly women, you think?
They're intuitive, and I think that they're more than likely to seek out someone else who is intuitive.
Oh, I see. So if someone went to you and they said, oh, I'm broke and I'm hungry and I'm poor, and what's going to happen to me? What would you tell them?
So that person would be talking about the material, physical existence, right? And we can only counsel so far with that, because either you're going to get up and do something for yourself or you're not. So I don't really influence that too much, although I do give very good advice because it's coming from a higher source. It's not coming from my life experience. It's coming from their spirit guides or angels and my people upstairs.
And when you say your people upstairs, who are your people upstairs?
So I have a main operator spirit guide, he's my phone connector, and he is Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes is a Greek god, as you might know. You know Hermes with the wings?
No.
Really? He's the messenger of the gods.
I never heard of Hermes.
Okay.
I know a Herman who died, but not a Hermes.
Bless his soul.
How did you meet Hermes?
So we did a guided meditation to meet our spirit guides, and I'd been trying to meet my spirit guide for several years, and it took about 7 years to get him on what I call the psychic telephone, and I asked him his name, and I saw his name and I heard his name at the same time, so there was no mistake that it was Hermes. And also my name, Corinne, is the French version of Cor, which Cor Persephone, also going back to the Greek myth, she was saved from Hades or hell by Hermes.
Amazing.
Isn't that neat?
And what does Hermes look like?
To me, he shows up as a beautiful Greek statue, like the David statue.
And so does he come down or does he just allow you to see him?
We meet on different levels of consciousness. So it depends on where my consciousness is that day. He does not show up physically to me. These are visions during waking hours. So I dream while I'm awake.
And do you have any other people up there?
Sure, I've met a lot of the gods and goddesses. Some of the ascended masters, such as Yogananda, Babaji, so many.
Do you send? Do you send?
Sin, shame, difficulty. I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal. So I don't believe I sin. No,
So you do not sin?
I don't believe so.
Are you married?
No,
You have kids?
I have a son.
And is he a psychic as well?
He is very intuitive, but he's not into it.
Oh, he's not into it?
No.
How old is he?
So he is just now 20.
Really? And what is his impression of you?
He understands me, we found out through video games. So he watches and plays some very intense spiritual video games. And he's like, oh my gosh, Mom, what you said to me made sense. So it's just a different level of consciousness, and he kind of gets it.
Is he still living with you?
No, he lives with his father, and his father and I are very good friends.
And so is his father a psychic?
He is intuitive as well. Their bloodline is Druid.
Were you ever married to the father?
Yeah,
And are you still married to him?
technically, yes. But we've been separated for like 15 years.
Really? Why?
Because it wasn't the idyllic situation, that it wasn't romantic. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Oh. We became really good friends, and that kind of, there was no more romance to be had.
Meaning that you were not having sex?
Correct.
Really? And he didn't want to?
Nope, he sure didn't.
And did you want to?
I think I did.
And so you got rid of him.
I did. We actually owned the Occult shop, which was a bookstore in our classic neighborhood over in Ohio, where I'm from.
Right.
And we basically raised a community together along with our son.
What does God look like?
One of us, what if God was one of us? So when I see the highest high, the most high, I see light. And that's all that I see, no details.
And is it a he or a she or a drag queen?
I think drag queen would be perfect. But for me personally, the voice of God is masculine, but that's just for me personally.
Yeah, it's a he.
As you like.
It's been confirmed. So do you read people while walking up and down the road?
No way, especially not in Los Angeles.
And why not?
Here, honestly, I'll be honest, there's a lot of fake people out here.
In California?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Brainwashed and
Hollywood.
fake. And I've never really experienced anything like this before. So I turn it down, turn down my psychic senses, because I never know what I might run into.
Meaning what?
People out here have had a lot more room to experience the sinful part of life, and have experienced it. Where I'm from, we're a little bit more wholesome.
From Ohio, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. And so, so when you're walking around, you tune it down so that you won't connect with them?
I'm listening to the DJ, so I'm listening to music, and God is my DJ, so I'm listening to signs and symbols and lyrics while I'm playing around in the great paradise of Los Angeles.
There are a lot of women who hate men, and they think God is a she.
Okay.
Because they hate men, right? They rejected masculinity. What do you say to those women who think God is a she?
Because
you'll hear
but
men say it too.
you're prefacing this with women hate men, therefore God is a woman. So
Right.
that's a lot of prefacing here.
Right.
I don't know those women personally, and I would think that they have trauma dealing with their own fathers, obviously.
Yeah.
It all goes back to the childhood.
So now that you left your husband, and because you wanted some sex and he didn't want to do it,
You make it sound so simple and base.
are you having sex with different men?
Actually, I haven't had sex in 8 years.
Whoa.
Thank you.
But why would you leave your husband and say you were not going to have
It
sex
wasn't
with
to get sex somewhere else. It was to leave my heart open for the possibility of romantic love.
him? And
Because
so,
it wasn't there anymore.
so far yet, no one has come along? Mm-mm. Do you want sex?
No, never. I would like to make love with my soulmate, but I'm totally not into sex. And I don't get regularly aroused like normal people do.
Oh, you don't?
No.
But making love is having sex, right?
It depends.
Like kissing and having sex and all that stuff.
Are you having sex?
No.
Okay, I can tell.
Oh, really? No, I'm kidding. So, do a lot of women come to you looking for love? Want you to help them find a loved one or something like that?
Actually, I guess I'm blessed with these clients that are actually looking for their spiritual calling in life and what their purpose is.
And are you able to tell them what that is?
Oh, definitely. It's
How
my
are you
favorite
able
thing.
to tell them what it is?
So sometimes we look at the tarot cards, which are archetypal symbols that talk to us about our hero's journey. Joseph Campbell is the one who taught me about the hero's journey. And so I go into wherever they're deficient, bring them light, and that light brings information to them to change their circumstances.
Who is Joseph who?
Joseph Campbell, the mythologist.
Who is that?
He was a mythologist.
Oh, is he still living?
No, he's no longer with
Oh,
us.
I see. Okay, and you learned from him about that?
Yes,
What's it called again?
the hero's journey.
And what is the hero's journey?
So we have a cycles in life, and actually this follows the tarot as well, the tool that I use. You start off as the Fool, which is knowing nothing, and then you go through the 22 tarot cards, or you go through these trials and errors of the hero's journey, which are archetypally set out, meaning everyone goes through basically the same journey, but a lot of different details in different circumstances. Actually, Star Wars was based on the hero's journey.
Have you ever been wrong, giving people wrong advice?
No,
You've never been wrong?
no.
No one ever came back and said, hey, I want my money back. You
Oh
were
gosh,
wrong.
no. I wouldn't do it if I got that kind of feedback.
Oh, you wouldn't do it at all?
No.
Not even if one person came back?
It just hasn't happened, so I really can't say.
Do you believe human beings are in a fallen state?
I believe that we are at a time, we've had thousands of years of reincarnation to get our soul perfect, and you have either done it by now or you have not. Now, when I say soul perfect, I don't mean your personality is perfect, your hair is perfect, your life is perfect. I mean, if you have grown your soul from lead to gold, which is hermetics, then you're ready to go and get out of the earth plane lessons in general, because there's plenty of other places to be. Plenty other things to be.
Amazing. A lot of folks don't understand, as I'm not understanding, that language that you're speaking. How would a lame person understand? If they went to you and you start talking about zeros and matter and all that, how would they know what you're talking about?
When I was talking about what?
The different spirit things that you talk about.
I meet everyone where they are. So I kind of check their oil, and then I meet them where they are. And so I am an intellectual. I do use the words that I think most appropriate.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, what is a Viking?
A Viking?
Yes.
Really? Okay. They're from the Norse, and they worship Freya and Odin. I really didn't study them because I'm not from them. But you asked me about Druids, I can tell you about
Are
that.
you afraid of the Vikings?
Probably a little bit.
Oh, you are? Why?
Intimidated.
Really?
Because they were a warrior culture, and I really can't stand war.
Oh, you can't?
It's very hard for me to read things about war. Even the Bhagavad Gita is about war, so it's difficult.
So is the Viking different than being a witch?
Yeah, I would say definitely, because Wicca and paganism is the celebration of life, and war is the celebration of death.
So if I told you I was a Viking right now, would you get up and run?
No, I'm not reactionary.
Can you tell I'm a Viking?
Not really. I think you're a cool guy.
Right on. What is a witch?
So let's say you could say there's Illuminati and Illuminati. So you have illuminated, and on the other side of the coin, you have the difficult New World Order kind of people. So you could say that witches that ate babies are more the New World Order kind of people, and Wicca is a religion of nature.
Are there people like that around here in California?
Well, I don't know them personally, but I have seen pictures and heard tales of many Satanists, Luciferians, and those who sacrifice here in California. But I think it's prevalent. I think it's all over the world. I think it's been going on for many generations.
What is their purpose?
Their end game is to kill all life, whether they know it or not.
Oh, really? And so if you were to cross paths with one, would you be able to tell that that's what it is right away?
I crossed paths with Masons when I came out here, and they were also dabbling in satanic rituals.
Masons were?
Yes.
And are they still doing that?
Well, yes, that's their lifestyle.
They was dabbling in satanic, what?
Yeah, they would call it Masonry, but what they're actually doing is basically satanic ritual abuse.
Like what, for example?
They sacrifice living things to something that they call Baphomet, or the god of the dead, which isn't Baphomet, and it's very difficult to say that they're doing everything incorrect, so I don't want to explain it correctly, but they are hurting things to get what they want.
And when you say things, like what?
Usually animals,
So they sacrifice animals?
yeah.
Really?
From what I've seen. In
You've seen that?
visions. No, I would never be in a room where that was going on.
Oh, so how have you seen it?
In visions.
Oh, in
Through being around
visions.
these people, working with these people, touching these people, right? Talking with them and understanding where they're coming from. Yeah,
I read that you were a Buddhist,
that's right.
and Buddhists don't believe in God.
So Buddha said, don't worship me, right? So Buddha means anointed or Christed, same difference, only thousands of years before Christ. And so it's about finding enlightenment within you. So it's about being able to get to the God source from within, instead of the materialistic way of grabbing and searching and seeking outside of yourself.
But do they believe there is a God that lives above us and in us?
My guru
and
did.
that he has a son named Jesus.
Oh, my guru did. She actually wanted to become a Catholic nun at a very critical point in her life. So she was a Buddhist, and Buddhists will always tell you, you can go back to your childhood religion, and you can have your childhood religion along with Buddhism. So it's more of a way of thinking, of processing. It's a different way of loving yourself.
And so you're saying to me, yes, Buddhist, people who are Buddhist, do believe in the Creator who created all things, God, right?
Yeah, but I can't speak for all Buddhists. I can speak for my guru, Sri Mamo Devi, Maria Rose, and she was the one who taught me Buddhism, all of it. Therefore, that also, she was a Christian too.
Is there a difference between, I was going to ask, is there a difference between Christianity or Christians and Buddhists?
Yeah, there's a time difference, that's for sure, and then cultural differences as well.
And when you say time difference, what do you mean?
That Buddha was born before Jesus.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And cultural difference is,
Yeah. So the Hindu people basically versus,
I noticed that Buddhist people don't have courage.
really?
Yeah. All
When
they
did
do-
you see that? Tell me all about it.
All they do is sit around and pray, and they don't wear normal clothes and all that. They don't fight wars, and they don't.
That's right. Yeah, it's a bet.
They're like, what's making them so weak?
Well,
and
you are
without
judging them
courage.
as weak.
But they don't fight. They don't stand for anything. That is a sign of weakness.
Well, in a materialistic world, that's true. But they're not in a materialistic world.
But I see them in the materialistic world.
You see them physical, but
Right.
it doesn't mean their mind is materialist.
And so, do their mind tell them not to stand up and be men of courage?
It's more about them. You must understand they are trying to escape samsara, the world of suffering, through understanding themselves and understanding the universe. So they're not playing the materialistic game. They're not really playing this game.
And so, is that why they don't defend themselves when attacked?
I think that's a big reason why, yeah.
But that's so beta. You know, like beta male. You know what a beta is?
I think so. I am on Twitter.
But isn't that so beta? Why believe in a God that won't give you the courage to stand up for yourself?
Well,
Even
yeah,
during time of war.
you definitely have Western thoughts there. And if you spent lifetimes on a mountain, you might feel differently. You might know differently.
On a mountain?
Yeah,
What do you mean by that?
meditating on a mountain.
They spend all their lives on a mountain?
Well, yeah, highest point in the world.
Would you marry a Buddha?
An enlightened man, that's all I ever wanted.
But don't you want a man that will protect you in time of trouble?
You know, I think men and women come together in love, and it's not about what they can do for each other in those materialistic ways.
But would you want a man that will protect you in time of trouble, or would you want him to run?
No, I know what you mean, and I would like the masculine to act masculine as I feminine act feminine. Sure.
So would you want him to protect you?
That'd be great.
So you would never marry Buddha because he's not going to protect you.
The thing is that when you live your life with God every moment of every day, you're not really that afraid, you understand.
But
and
they act afraid when they don't protect themselves.
we come to a point to where we just trust what's happening to us. I've been through some extreme darkness where I felt abandoned, and that trust had to pull me through that. Faith had to pull me through that. I'm not depending on a strong alpha male or anything else other than God.
If a Buddhist is married, do they get married?
They do.
And they had a family, a wife and children.
They're called householders.
And someone came to attack them physically, to take their lives. They would fight back because they just believe in something in them.
No, you can fight back. That they don't choose to fight back in large groups is one thing. But to keep your personal safety, to keep your life, you are allowed to fight back. It's not against the rules.
Why don't they choose to fight back in large groups?
Well, you know, you're going to have to ask the Dalai Lama for that, because he's kind of like the father of the Buddhists right now.
That's the guy that's trying to do all these interracial marriages and things like that? Is that
I
the
don't
same
know, but I
person?
would say he's highly political
Yeah.
for a simple monk.
Is that good?
I don't know. Anyone on the stage of life, anyone who's famous, has usually compromised themselves in one way or another.
Have you ever come in contact with Satan?
I've looked for Satan everywhere, and all I can find is death.
Satan is death. So Satan is the same as evil, right?
If you like I said, there's a force. I don't think personification.
Have you ever come in contact with evil forces?
Yeah.
What did you do when you came into contact with evil forces? As an
Okay.
adult, how do you deal with that?
Well, how do I deal with it? A lot of prayer. We have tools, especially in Buddhism, on how to pray specifically, on what there are mantras that we read. There are certain knives that we don't actually physically use, but they're spiritual knives. They're physical knives, but they're used spiritually. So we actually have tools for these things.
Amazing. I read that you joined a 12-step program even though you were not an alcoholic.
That's
Is that
right.
true?
That's true.
Do you smoke pot?
I do, for pain.
I figured you smoke pot when I read that. I went, pot smoker.
Oh, but not, I haven't been a pot smoker for that long.
So you joined a program even though you were not an alcoholic. Why did you do that?
So I was identified by a friend of mine who said, I think you're codependent. I think that's your problem. And I read up on codependency, and because my father was an alcoholic, then I learned that I was a para-alcoholic, or the adult child of an alcoholic. And that sent me to counselors who told me to go to 12-step, which is a group session. So you get to hear real life stories, real life people who have gone through things that you've gone through as well, and you thought you were the only one on the planet that went through what you went through, but then strangers start telling your story to you. And it's such a comfort and a bonding experience that it pushed me forward to keep with the 12 steps until I was completely healed. And I think that it's good for just about anybody. It's a great roadmap.
So are you done with it now?
I don't think you're ever actually done, because if you're healed and you feel good, then you need to pay that forward.
So you think that you will always be an alcoholic even though you're not an alcoholic and you don't even drink?
You mean I'll always be a 12-stepper?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Codependency is almost just as bad as alcoholism.
Why does that make sense to you? That you need a program like that and some person convinced you because your father drank and all that you needed it too?
I had no tools on how to get better. All I have were like New Age books. And so in the 12-step section, I found John Bradshaw, who is the one who coined the term inner child. And I understood through reading the work that I had been really traumatized as a child and that I needed to come in and rescue that part of myself to bring her into alignment with my best self.
That's amazing. What do you have anyone ever said to you, well, woman, you crazy. Get out of here.
Sure, when I was younger.
How do you deal with that when they say you crazy?
I allow them to think whatever they choose to think.
Do you think you're normal?
No, I'm definitely not normal.
And what is abnormal about you?
That I dream while I'm awake, that I can hear the collective, that I'm never alone, that I feel all of you all the time as if I am also Mother Earth. So it's not an easy existence.
Really? Do you get lonely and sad and all that sometimes?
Yeah, for home, like nothing for here. Like it'd be nice to travel, but I get lonely and sad for the pure realms of love.
Meaning you want real love?
Once I leave this body, yes.
Do you have friends?
Sure do. I got great friends, very
You do?
supportive.
Are they psychics as well?
They're intuitive, but none of them are professional.
Oh, okay. And I got to ask, because we're running out of time again, it's amazing how fast. Do you get involved with politics?
No, I believe politics is Luciferian in nature.
Really?
I do.
And so, have you ever heard of the Great White Hope?
I think I have.
And what do you think of the Great White Hope?
It sounds like something from the 70s, so what is it?
Donald Trump, the president.
Oh, well, he's a materialist, obviously, number one, right? So his big thing is, how can we make more money to make America great again? And I believe that when you do your research, you understand all of these rulers all across the world are related through a bloodline. And then you can realize that most people who run our planet are related, and it's a family affair, and you're not in it.
Is he doing an amazing job in making America great again, so forth?
No, he's killing people like every other president.
And what do you mean by that?
Mass murder.
Who did he mass murder?
Everyone that he told, okay, we can go shoot these people up now, we can go kill these people now.
Like who, for example?
Where have we been lately? I try to block this stuff out, honestly. It's not that I don't watch Jason Burmis and other people on YouTube that tell me everything that's going on in politics, but it's not something I let seep in to me.
Is he wrong for killing the Taliban who want to kill us? The Allah Akbar people?
I think murder is wrong, period.
So is the president wrong for protecting us from them?
You really think that's what's happening?
Is he wrong for that?
I don't think that we're being protected. I believe that we're headed towards a new world order.
And what is the New World Order?
Where we are enslaved even more than we are now. So we can look up Agenda 21 if you like, but that's actually a plan that's been in place to change our homes, where we live, all our lifestyles, and make everything automated so that we are really a slave race, and there's a huge divide between the rich and the poor. I don't see colors, race, gender. I see good and evil.
So you believe the president is a part of this New
Beast
World Order
system.
agenda?
Let's call it the beast system, yeah.
Really? And so what do
Because you rule yourself. You're a grown man. You're your own father. You're your own mother. You can make your own choices. And I see that with presidents, it's like you're picking a team. You're picking a sports team. And it's not very deep or soulful or meaningful.
So you believe the president is a part of this New World Order agenda? And what do you think about this phony impeachment thing that they're doing? Are they a part of the New World Order too?
So I think what we saw there was an epic food fight in a cafeteria in high school, you know?
I agree to that.
I mean, that was crazy. And especially, I know, I know that Hillary Clinton was working with Russia. And then she turns around and it blames him for working, Trump for working with Russia. So it's really hilarious, but it really is high school. And I really feel above it. And I hope most of us get there in 2020 where we can feel above this.
Do you vote?
No, never.
You've never voted? You don't vote?
No.
So you won't be voted for the Great White Hope in 2020?
No, but I'm pretty sure he's going to make it.
Yeah, I am too. Should you be allowed to be in a country such as America and don't vote?
Being a Native American, you can all get out. So we were oppressed and taken over by those who came in. So you must know that America is an invention.
So when you say Native American, you're an Indian?
I'm a Cherokee.
Really? And how did that happen?
Through sex.
I mean, were your father and mother Indians?
No, my great-grandmother and her husband. And so my great-grandmother's name was Daisy Dill.
Oh.
And so you've got an herb and a flower. So beautiful.
And what do you think about that woman who pretended that she was Native, Indian? What's her name? From Boston, Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Remember, she pretended to be a Native, and she got all the benefits that the Native get, the free stuff, and then she had to admit she was lying.
Wow.
Amazing, huh?
But she's a big politician, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
So why was she getting anything?
Because she pretended to be before that. She did
Oh, I
before that.
see.
Yeah. So, do you believe in exorcism?
I do. I've
you
never actually seen it. I haven't
And you
seen
never
it.
performed it?
No.
And you never seen it?
Well, I've helped disembodied spirits go home, and I've helped darkness get away from people, but I've never done the whole Christ compels you type of thing.
Oh, amazing. Are there different spirits inside of you?
Nope, it's just one soul, one light.
Have you had different spirits living in you before?
Not living within me, but I can hear them, and I can hear the dead.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
What are they talking about?
The dead usually that I can hear are close to the earth, so they're in that middle realm, and those are the ones that are most suffering, and that's where sleep paralysis or that boogeyman in my dreams came from. It's basically like someone left the door to hell open in my dream time.
And they let Nancy Pelosi came out, along with the Wicked Witch of the West, Maxine Waters, with the low IQ. So what are the dead people saying to you? When you hear them talking, what are they talking about?
I can hear their conversations. It's not as if they're talking straight to me unless I'm under a spiritual attack. That's when they actually talk to me. But otherwise, I can hear the collective of the living
Right.
people and the collective of the dead.
And what are they saying to one another?
Oh, it sounds like phone conversations a lot. It's so similar to phone conversations. But there's a lot of yelling, screaming, crying, a lot of suffering that's going on there. Yeah.
Amazing. What's your impression of me? How do you read me?
You're a lot more calm than I thought you would be because you have such strong opinions, but you're not like ripping up the chair passionate about it. You know what I mean? You don't lose your head. So I'm impressed.
Amazing. Would you want to sleep with me?
You mean go to sleep?
I mean sleep.
Christ compels you.
So I got to put you on the hot seat now. We got to
Okay.
heat this up. So I got to heat my guests up here, folks.
The Hot Seat.
I want you to answer these questions quickly. Is a woman placed in the kitchen?
If she's good at cooking, yes.
Are we living in the end times?
Yes.
Should a non-binary be a valid gender category?
No.
Globalism or nationalism, which do you prefer?
They're both for the New World Order, but I would say we want villages. We want smaller groups, not even national, just little groups. That would be great.
Do you support abortion?
Yeah, because you can do it with herbs.
Is CNN fake news?
Yes. But how about just all mainstream media?
Would you date a social justice warrior?
No.
Is the earth round or flat?
Round.
Is college worth it?
No.
Is feminism cancer?
Yeah, okay.
Is there a difference between a man and a woman?
Yes.
What's the difference?
Vagina and penis.
What is love?
An ecstasy that makes your heart sing 24/7.
That's amazing. Did you have fun?
I did. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Jesse.
Tell the folks how they can get in touch with you, your internet, whatever you're doing.
Okay. I'm occultpriestess.com. I'm here local in Los Angeles, ready to serve you. Please look me up on the internet. I've been on there for about 20 years and I've got writing and a lot of stuff for free. So just come by and peruse through the pages and give me an email, give me a call.
Thank you all for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate it. Let me hear from you. Don't forget to like, follow, share, tweet, sign in, and all that good stuff. And we have all kind of merch up there. Be sure to support us.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Are you afraid to be called white nationalist? My producer is Nick, Anchor Baby. Anchor Baby.
I can neither confirm nor deny these allegations.
What's important to you, Dave?
Well, work and fun. Dang, I'm white.
Have you ever been called a racist?
Yeah, and a race trader by Latinos. Illegals will tell me that they're illegal, no problem, but they don't know
They don't know you're legal.
that I would call ICE.
Oh, they should. You lied about the no sex or weather.
Nope. All true.
And how do people, you don't have anything.
No, you can reach me at anchorbabiesforyou.com.
Thanks for watching The Fallen State. We need your continued support. Donate to my nonprofit here. Subscribe and like the videos here. And tell everybody and their mama about the show.